I always believed family was everything. Growing up, I protected my little sister Megan like she was made of glass. Our wedding was 4 months away. Everything seemed perfect. But I learned something painful that year. Blood does not guarantee loyalty. The two women I trusted most were about to teach me that lesson in the cruelest way imaginable. This is what happened. Before I share this story, let me know in the comments where you are watching from today. If you have ever been betrayed by someone you loved unconditionally, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. This story might change how you think about forgiveness and family. Now, let me take you back to where it all began. I met Stephanie 4 years before everything fell apart. It was at a technology conference in Seattle. She was standing by the coffee station laughing at something on her phone, and when she looked up and caught me staring, she did not look away. She smiled. That smile changed my entire life. Our first date was at a small coffee shop near the river. We talked for 5 hours straight. She told me about her dreams of becoming an interior designer. I told her about my work as a software engineer and my complicated relationship with my family. She listened like every word mattered. Nobody had ever listened to me like that before. Over the next few years, we built something beautiful together. There was our road trip down the Pacific Coast Highway, stopping at every small town that caught our eye. There was the night I proposed to her in Joshua Tree, under a sky so full of stars it looked fake. She cried. I cried. We held each other and promised forever. My family adored Stephanie. My mother, Diane, treated her like the daughter she never had. They would spend hours talking about recipes, home decoration, and wedding plans. My father, Gerald, approved of her ambition and work ethic, and Megan, my younger sister, became her closest friend. They went shopping together, had lunch dates, shared secrets. I remember feeling so grateful that the most important women in my life got along so perfectly. Megan and I had always been close. She was 4 years younger than me, and I spent most of my childhood protecting her. When kids at school made fun of her, I was there. When her first boyfriend broke her heart, I drove 3 hours to bring her ice cream and let her cry on my shoulder. When she struggled financially after college, I helped her pay rent for 6 months without telling our parents. That was what big brothers did. At least that was what I believed. Looking back, there were signs I chose to ignore. Stephanie and Megan started having private conversations that stopped whenever I entered the room. They had inside jokes I was not part of. Sometimes Megan would text Stephanie late at night, and Stephanie would smile at her phone in a way that made my stomach turn slightly. But I trusted them completely. Trust is a powerful blindfold. The day everything changed was a Friday in October. My afternoon meeting got canceled, so I drove home early thinking I would surprise Stephanie with dinner reservations at her favorite restaurant. Her car was in the driveway. The house was quiet. I walked through the front door, calling her name. No response. I checked the kitchen, the living room, the backyard. Nothing. Then I heard something from upstairs. Muffled sounds coming from the bedroom. Our bedroom. My heart started pounding as I climbed the stairs. Each step felt heavier than the last. My hand trembled as I reached for the bedroom door handle. Part of me already knew what I was about to find. Part of me desperately hoped I was wrong. I opened the door. Stephanie was in our bed. But she was not alone. Megan was there with her. My fiancé and my sister tangled together in sheets that I had slept in the night before. Time stopped. The world went silent. I could not breathe. I could not think. I just stood there, frozen, watching as they scrambled apart, pulling blankets over themselves, their faces twisted with shock and guilt. Stephanie started crying immediately. Words tumbled out of her mouth. Sorry. Mistake. Did not mean for this to happen. Please. Please. Megan said nothing. She just stared at the wall, avoiding my eyes completely. I finally found my voice. It came out calm, almost detached, like I was asking about the weather. How long? Stephanie hesitated. Her silence told me everything I needed to know. How long? I repeated. A year, she whispered. Since the Miami trip. The Miami trip. The family vacation I could not attend because of a work emergency. The trip where Stephanie and Megan had shared a hotel room to save money. I had joked about how nice it was that they were bonding. I turned around and walked out of that room. I did not scream. I did not throw things. I just walked down the stairs out the front door and got into my car. I drove for hours without any destination. Eventually I ended up in an empty parking lot somewhere, and that was where I finally broke down. I sat in my car and cried until there was nothing left. My phone buzzed constantly. Text after text from Stephanie begging me to come home and talk. Messages from Megan saying we needed to discuss this. I turned the phone off and drove to my friend Marcus's apartment. Marcus opened the door, took one look at my face, and stepped aside without asking questions. I told him everything. He listened in stunned silence, then handed me a beer and said the only thing that mattered. "I am so sorry, man. That is absolutely insane." That night I lay awake on his couch, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the past year in my head. Every time Stephanie said she was going out with friends. Every time Megan came over and they disappeared into another room to talk privately. Every smile, every touch, every lie. 2 days later I went back to the house to pack my things. Stephanie was waiting for me, her eyes red from crying. She begged me to listen. "It was a mistake, Victor. I was confused about myself. About my identity. It just happened." I did not argue with her. What was the point? I simply packed my clothes, my laptop, my important documents. When I was done, I placed the engagement ring on the kitchen table. "You want to know what hurts most?" I said, finally looking at her. "It is not that you cheated. It is who you cheated with. You took my sister from me too." She had no response to that. I told Stephanie I needed space. I told her the wedding was off. I did not contact Megan at all. I could not even process what she had done to me. My baby sister. The person I had protected my entire life. A week later, my mother called. Her voice was heavy, careful, like she was walking through a minefield. "Victor, honey, I heard what happened. Megan told me everything." "Good," I said. "Then you understand why I need distance from both of them." There was a pause. A long, uncomfortable pause. "Well, sweetie, Megan's version is a little different. She says," Stephanie pursued her. "She says she tried to resist, but Stephanie was very aggressive. Megan feels terrible. She is absolutely devastated." I could not believe what I was hearing. Stephanie pursued her. "For an entire year. That made no sense." "Mom," I said slowly, "they were together for over a year. That is not a one-time mistake. That is a relationship. A secret relationship that destroyed my engagement and my trust in my own sister." My mother sighed heavily. "I know it hurts, Victor. But Megan is your sister. She is family. You have to find a way to forgive her." And there it was. Not sympathy. Not anger at what Megan had done. Just pressure to forgive and forget so everyone could pretend nothing happened. "I need time, Mom," I said. "Please respect that." But she did not respect it. Over the following weeks, the pressure increased. My father called next. Gerald was never a man of many words, but when he spoke, he expected to be obeyed. I assumed he would understand. I was wrong. "Your mother tells me you are refusing to speak to Megan," he said. "This needs to stop." "Dad, do you know what she did?" "I know she made a mistake. A serious one. But she is still your sister, Victor. Blood is blood. You need to put your pride aside and forgive her." "My pride," I replied, my voice rising. "She slept with my fiancé for a year. This is not about pride. This is about betrayal." Gerald's tone hardened. "Watch your tone with me. I raised you better than this. Men in this family do not hold grudges. You will forgive your sister, and that is final." I hung up on him. It was the first time in my life I had ever done that. The calls kept coming. Aunts, uncles, even my grandmother reached out with the same message. "Forgive Megan. Let it go." Family sticks together. A few relatives even suggested that maybe I had neglected Stephanie somehow, that maybe I was partially responsible for pushing her into someone else's arms. The mental gymnastics required to blame me for my own betrayal was absolutely astonishing. Megan herself never apologized properly. She sent me one text message that read, "You are overreacting. We need to talk like adults." I deleted it without responding. As the weeks passed, I started to see my family with new eyes. They did not care about my pain. They cared about maintaining the illusion of a happy, unified family. My suffering was an inconvenience to them, a disruption to their comfortable lives. If I would just forgive Megan, everything could go back to normal. Nobody would have to feel awkward at holidays. Nobody would have to take sides. Thanksgiving arrived. My mother called, expecting me to come home as usual. I am not coming, I told her. What, Victor? It is Thanksgiving. The whole family will be there. Including Megan. Of course, including Megan. She is your sister. Then I am not coming. My mother cried. She accused me of tearing the family apart. She said I was being selfish and cruel. She never once acknowledged that Megan was the one who committed the betrayal. I spent that Thanksgiving alone in my apartment eating pizza and watching movies. It should have felt lonely. Instead, it felt peaceful. For the first time in months, I did not have to pretend. I did not have to smile and make small talk while my heart was breaking. I could just exist quietly without anyone demanding I sacrifice my well-being for their comfort. Early December, my mother called again. This time, her voice was different. Softer. Almost gentle. Victor, I know I have been hard on you. I understand you need time. I do. But Christmas is coming and I just want my son home. It will be just us. Me and your father. Megan will not be there. I promise. I hesitated. Despite everything, part of me still missed them.